Truth Lighthouse. This is May 1st, 2015. We were reading the Deuteronomy 28 and got to verse 43, and the video ran along, so we are back again. But I'm going to start back at 43 so that you have the fullness of what's being said in the following verses. So here we go. We are reading about disobedience and cursings right now. And the stranger that is within, they shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He will lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these cursings shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, until thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, and to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And he shall be upon thee for a sign, for the wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shall thou serve thy enemy, which the Lord shall send against thee, And you know, guys, I can't see that wording. It looks like hunger. Okay. And in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want, and in all things, he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he has destroyed thee. And the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, swift as the eagle's flesh, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And the nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. He shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land, until thou is destroyed. Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, oil, or increase of thy kin, or flock of thy sheep, until he has destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until the high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout the land. And he shall bestow thee in all thy gates, throughout all the land which the Lord thy God has given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body in the flesh of thy sons and thy daughters, which the Lord thy God has given thee. In the siege and in the straitness therewith thine enemies shall distress thee, and so that the man that is under among you, and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of the children, whom he shall eat, because he has nothing left in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates, the tender and the delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her feet upon the ground. For delicateness and tenderness her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her sons, and towards her daughter, and towards her young ones that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith those enemies shall distress thee in the gate. If thou wilt not observe, do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and that plague of thy seed, even great plagues, of the long continuousness and sore sickness and long continuousness. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of the Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou is destroyed, and they shall be left few numbers where ye were, as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou would not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land, whither ye goest, and to possess it. And the Lord shall scatter thee among the people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither are thou. I'm glad we're almost done, guys. This is so long. I'm sorry. Wow. And there shall serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shall thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy feet have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and falling in the eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in the doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear the day and night, and thou shalt have none assurance of thy life. And in the morning thou shalt say, Would God it were even, and even thou shalt say, Would God it were morning. For the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thy eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships, and the ways whereof I spake of thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there thee shall be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. America, God has spoken. If you're not obedient, these cursings will come upon the land. And yes, he is not going to change his mind. Only the obedient will be safe. These cursings will come upon the land. And yes, sin does cause skin diseases. Please take the time and meditate on this word with the Lord and prepare your hearts, because the Lord has a lot to say about the works of the flesh. This series is going to be very difficult to get through, because I know many of you have been prospering in the flesh because you thought grace saved you. But yes, grace saves you, but only if you were within the fruits of the Spirit. If you recall, when we were doing the Fruits of Spirit series, we were listing off all the fruits. At the end it said, against such things there is no law. When you're obedient to the Lord, then in the fruits of the Spirit, then the law is not against you, because you're being in obedience. But if you're being disobedient and you're in the works of your flesh, these cursings will come upon you, because you're not in God's will, and he does not bless the disobedient. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow with the very first work of the flesh. God bless. Shalom.